Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's called A Stitch Too Far. My name is Ingeborg and this is my Flosstiversary. I've been making videos about stitching for a year now and I'm going to be talking about that for most of the video. I'm going to do some small tags and talk about my experiences in the past year. But before we do that, I'm going to talk and show you about what I've been stitching on for the past 2 weeks. And of course, as always, I have my notes that I'm immediately going to check. So, first things first, I've been watching a lot of Flosstube as usual, and there are some people that have said some things that I thought, yeah, might have been older videos by the way, but what is Flosstube? You know, there's a lot of new Flosstubers coming out of the stitching closet and showing what they're working on, and it seems like every new Flosstuber says, I'm not sure if this is the right way to do this, but here we go. And in my experience, Flosstube is what you make of it and what you make of it with the Flosstube community. And it's, for me, it's not so much about, you know, just going over my list of whips and showing you my progress and thank you very much, next time we'll do that again. For me, it's more about the interaction with you guys and trying to sort of have a virtual visit. So whenever someone says that about my videos, I am just really happy, because that's exactly what I'm aiming for. And that's why I've been thinking about this a lot, but that's why I think my videos have become longer, because we are getting to know each other better, and that means that I open up more and share more. And of course I also have added lots and lots of projects to my whip pile, but we'll come to that too. Anyway, before we dive into the whole thing about what does Flosstube mean to me and what does it mean to you, let's just show you some of my stitching that I've done. But yeah, just one more thing to add. I think Flosstube is whatever you want it to be if you're a maker of videos. And more importantly, Flosstube is everybody out there who watches and comments and shares and likes. Because without people watching, for me there would be no point in making videos. I have other ways that I keep track of my projects. This is an outlet to share with other stitchers my experiences and learn from other stitchers and share opinions and discuss things and be enabled and enable, etc, etc. Anyway, now I'm definitely going on to the stitching bit. So I have not been working on any of my usual whips as of this vacation period, apparently. So I have the last thing I showed you in the previous video that I have finished now is the Kathy Barrick piece, Good Intentions, which is somehow doubly wrapped in plastic. But yeah, so that's this piece. And I have finished it. Yes, I have. I've even ironed it. And here it is. And the fabric is showing up lighter than it is in real life. And in my screen it looks like it's mottling with tan, but the tan in real life is a little bit more orangey. But actually that works really well for this piece, because of the red and the yellow in this piece are actually also a bit orangey. So here's my version on 40 count doubloon. I used the recommended NPI silks for this, and they were a lot of fun to stitch with. Not sure if I would say that you have to use them, because I'm sure that with cotton threads it would be lovely too. But I did want to try the NPI silks out, because I'm considering silks for that oriental piece as well. So it's nice to see how different types of silks stitch up. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I had no problems with this silk, no knotting on the back. But as happens to be somehow my problem of late, I messed up in the lettering, but you can't see that. So I decided not to mess with it. But yeah, on this side I'm one thread over, too far over. So somewhere in here I have a problem with having either one thick thread that I thought was 2, or 3 thin thread that I thought was 2. But anyway, I messed up. But yeah, on the 40 count you can't see it, well, unless you have a magnifier and measuring tape or something. So this is finished now, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to finish it. I was thinking of a frame, but I would have to find, again, this is a square piece, so this is, I think it's 17 by 17 centimeters on 40 count. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if I can find a frame that I think suits this, because I would like to find like an old looking frame. So I might make it into a bit of a big pillow, or maybe just flat full maybe. Not sure. We'll have to dig through my stash of fabrics to see if I've got anything that will match it for making a pillow or flat fold. And keep my eyes out for a nice frame. But yeah, this is done. Yeah, I made some little changes, but I already mentioned those in the previous part in the lettering. Oh yeah, I did make some changes in the lettering. I switched around the colors in the flowery border bit, because it was supposed to be gray and yellow. I've never seen gray and yellow flowers, I think. But yeah, so I made them red and yellow. That's the only thing I changed, apart from the other little changes. But yeah, definitely fun to stitch. I like the saying a lot. So I'm just gonna have to find a way to finish it. And then, let's see. I was still feeling the startitis. And I need a sip of coffee. Which again, people have been mentioning about drinking on videos, and I've wanted to talk about this before, because I'm not aware that that is rude. If it is, I apologize, but as somebody pointed out, if you have a long speech, it's okay to have a glass of water near you and drink from it. So if we have a visit, we usually have something to drink, so not aware that it's a problem, but if it is, I apologize, but I'm not gonna stop. So I did have a new start, which is it's called Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth's Needlework Design. Yeah, Needlework Designs. We've seen it finished by Stephanie at Lindy Stitches with her own color choices. I now know that McKenna and Emily at Eclectic Possessions have it or starting it. I've seen it on several. Somehow it's on everybody's list now or something, but yeah, I've seen it on several videos. But yeah, I had it. I started it with the recommended threads, which are, I think, Weeks. Yeah, Weeks Dye Works. And I used a 40 count fabric from xJudesigns called Rocky Mountain, which is my absolute favorite as far as the fabrics that I've gotten from her. And it may look that like I've wasted a lot of fabric, but I did. But I wanted the specific part of the fabric because I like the modeling on that best. So here is the actual finished version. So in 2 weeks I finished this as well. Here there be monsters. I made a few color changes because there's supposed to be some pink coloring in it. Weeks Dye Works Sanguine, I think. And that just didn't sit right with me. Didn't like it. Not the pink person at all. But if it's called for and it looks right, I will use it, but not for this. So the pink I replaced with the purple plum color that was already being used in the pattern. And for some reason these birds were charted as being purple. Yeah, I didn't like that. So I made them the same color as the monster, which was Pamlico, I think. I'm really happy with how the modeling in the monster worked out. What I did is I tried to patch it up a bit, so not going long horizontal lines or all the way vertical. So what I did is I did top parts vertically, then came back and did new thread again, the bottom parts vertically, so it ended up a bit more patchy than it would have otherwise, and I'm really happy with that. And I changed the year, and there's no chart with different numbers, so you have to figure it out for yourself, but 7 is not that difficult to add. And you're not going to see it because it won't focus, but in the little purple border beneath the year I added my initials. But yeah, it's looking pretty close to actual colors, and I will find a frame for this, and I will cut off the edges and use them for small pieces, because there's a lot still that I can use once I framed it and cut it out. But yeah, I'm really happy with the modeling and how its placement is in the pattern now. Anything else? Oh yeah, here there not only be monsters, here there also were some frogs. I had some issues with, let's see, mainly this bit, getting it right, because it's not always, I've noticed now that I have a tendency to think if it's a continuous pattern, like over here as well, I will know just now 3 like this, 2 like that, 3 like this, and move on. And then I discovered here that it wasn't always continuous. So for instance, in this border I stitched it all the way over here, and to realize that the first part was not the same as the continuous bit over here. So I had to frog it out and do it again, but yeah. Other than that, no issues. So, 2 finishes, which I'm very happy about. And then I did another start, because I had a hardanger pattern that I purchased a little while ago. And I found the right color combinations that I wanted to use for it. Oh gosh. So I decided to start it. This is by a Dutch hardanger designer, designed by Marjo Timmers, and it's by the Stitch Company. It's called Gobi Sand. And I didn't have a very good picture of it, but of course I was attracted by the Gobi Sand title. You know, with my background interests. But yeah, I discovered there's actually no cut work in this. It's all surface stitches, but still it's really nice. I will show you. So the threads I'm using for this are not the recommended, except for the Gobi Sand. This is the Caron Watercolours Gobi Sand, which has greys and light pinks. Who knew I would like light pinks, but yeah, and like a tan sand color. And I was looking at it, I was looking at the options were to use Venus pearls, and they are not easy to come by here. Well, at least I couldn't find them easily, so I just thought, well, check my DMCs. So I went for a combination of 416 and 818. So the pink and the grey, which kind of match the pink and the grey in the Gobi Sand. And I had found a sand color, Zweigart. What is this? 25 counts. 10 dots. Yeah, 25 counts. I had where I usually shop for hardanger material. They have like bits of cut off fabric that they usually sell for cheap, and this was one. So plenty of fabric, more than I needed, but yeah, I'll find something else for another project. So those are the colors that I used, and I'm almost finished again. This is how far I've gotten. And it's hard to see. But yeah, as you can see, all surface stitching. We have the stars and the little eyelets. Then we have the double cable stitch and the square stitch, I think. Some normal cluster blocks and a single cable stitch. And then these are like satin stitches and just sort of stars. And I'm working on the final bit, which is the blanket stitch. And this one, I usually, with the other one, with the hardanger along, I love the blanket stitch and the hardanger piece I did, because that was always same, the count was always the same. You had to count 5 blocks then and make a turn, 5 blocks, make a turn, etc. This is different. So here it's 5 stitches and make a turn, then again 5, and then suddenly it's 7 and make a turn, and then it's 8 and make a turn, and then it's 8 all the way down. But at first I didn't realize that. I just thought, okay, I know how to do this, 5, 5, 5, and it kept coming out wrong. And that's why. So I need to stop assuming and start reading, which is often a problem I have, but yeah. So it's not that big, and the pattern says that you can always make it bigger. Just move, make an extra few stars and make the cable longer and things like that. But I wasn't feeling that adventurous yet, so for now this is fine. But yeah, gosh, I forgot your name now. I'm so sorry. I messaged you yesterday on Instagram that I was thinking of you because of the blanket stitch, and you were saying how it was kicking your butt on the hardanger along, and this one is definitely kicking mine. So that's actually why I stopped it yesterday. I thought, oh my god, I need something else. So I turned to the regular hardanger along. And because I realized, because I saw that Nina had posted Stitching with a Smile, she posted a new video and it was part 2 of woven bars, and I was like, oh, is she wrong or am I wrong? I missed part 1, so I had to go back and check part 1 because that apparently came out last week. And I didn't notice, or I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So after I put away the Gobi Sand, I picked up the Hardanger long piece, which is the octagonal doily. Go to the website of Nina, I'll link her below. And yeah, so I'm working on the inner panels and filling in the inner bits. Is this working? With the woven bars, and I was gonna do the picot stitches too, but yeah, I forgot. So when I was already done with one block, I thought, oh, I should have put the picot in because I wanted to try them out, but yeah, I forgot, so they are not in. But yeah, all the woven bars I'm working on, I've worked on them this morning as well, putting them in, and I'm on to the last one, and that will be part 1 done. And then I'm not sure, I might be harding it out for a bit and wait for the big border for next weekend maybe, although next weekend will be busy. But yeah, almost done with the inside. Love this. I love seeing other people's work. I've seen, again, I forgot your name. Gosh, I want to say Jen, but it's not, is it? Jessica? I'm so sorry. And Saho from Japan always links me in her Instagram posts when she posts this, which I love. And Lynn Wilches is stitching along. And if you are too and I forgot, I'm sorry. All I can say is my memory sucks. So yeah, that's the stitching part of this video done, as far as the things I've worked on. Let me check if there's anything I wanted to say. Oh yeah, so with what that Gobi Sand piece is teaching me is that those guidelines that Nina is always talking about that you should put in, yeah, you should put them in, because it will help you catch on that you're wrong pretty quickly, instead of going like 50 stitches in and then having to frog all that out. So yeah, I can definitely recommend, if a pattern calls for guidelines, put them in, because I was questioning if I should do all the, there's quite a bit on this piece. I will bring it out again. So there's not the usual, there's the usual, oh gosh, center one. If I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna. Yeah, so there's the center one going like this and like this, and then there are help guidelines on both sides. So over here and over here, and one over here and over here, and they are definitely helpful. They really help, especially with this blanket stitch edge, because those are supposed to hit at certain points with those guidelines, and they didn't. So that's why I knew immediately that I was wrong. Yeah, stitch the guidelines, people. Best tip I can give you for Hardanger. So yeah. Anything else? I really am looking, because every time I finish my videos, I glance over and I think, oh shoot, I forgot to say this, or I forgot to do that. And that's really annoying. So on that point, I have decided that whenever that happens, I will try and make a separate video and make sort of a vlog thing, which I'm going to post at the end of my videos. If there's anything that I think about during the weeks that I want to talk about and I forgot, I will make a short vlog and attach them all to the next video on the end. So sort of a, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this last time bit. But yeah. Yeah, so I did some purchasing. I've wanted to do this sooner, but I was waiting for a pattern to come out and it didn't. So if, well, it doesn't matter if you're in Europe or not, but the online web shop Casa Sanina, I will link them below. I think people have mentioned it already. They are having a sort of charity sale of patterns, all kinds of patterns from all kinds of designers like Nora Corbett, like Hands-on Design, like Stacey Nash, that one I was waiting for, like Renate Parlin. I think they have like 15 or 20 designs that you can purchase as a PDF download, and they each cost 10 euros, and all the money that goes straight to a charity for the earthquake in central Italy and to help rebuild the village. So if you're interested in that, check the link below and see if maybe you want to purchase 1 or 2 designs. Anyway, I wanted to buy the Stacey, or at least see the Stacey Nash one, but I don't think it's up yet. So I decided to go ahead and buy the 2 that I've been eyeing. One is the Hands-on Designs, and I'm going to show you only the top half because the rest is pattern. But I really like the sentiment. The smallest seed, rooted firm, grows to shelter all. And I thought that would make a nice little pillow. And this is only a pattern, but if you go to the don't do it like this. If you go to the site, you will see an example of it. I might actually find it and stick it in. But of course I had to get the Renato Parlin design, which is of a, I think it's an apple tree. So yeah. And there was another one that I liked, but didn't like enough that I will get it if I don't like the Stacey Nash one. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah. And oh, I won. I won. I won Arlene's giveaway. Yay! And I was literally already on Etsy while her video was playing and checking in to my shopping cart some of the patterns that I was going to get when I heard that I actually won a free pattern. So that's on its way. I'm really excited about that. Oh my gosh, you have to check her. I will link her below because her new patterns are again really nice. And did you see Instagram? Did you see what she's working on? I love that. That made me laugh so much. You have to go check her Instagram if you haven't seen it. I think she posted it yesterday or the day before, and today is the 13th, dark 13th of August. Anyway. And I won another giveaway from Laura, Messy Situation. Yay! I was so lucky. And that's on its way too, I think, because I think she said she mailed it or she's gonna mail it soon. So, yeah. Awesome. So, there's one other thing I wanted to mention because I had ordered some threads a little while back and one got lost in the shipping, so they had to resend one. And when I got it, I learned how important it is to always order more than one skein if you think you're going to need more than one skein, because yes, you can see it is actually that different. These are 2 skeins of picnic baskets by the Gentle Arts, and one is this one. Oh, this one is a little bit more chocolate brown, and this one is more like a greenish tree trunk brown. Yeah. And the annoying thing is, as far as I can tell, you can't see which dye lot is which. I find that very annoying, because that is totally different, and I will find a use for it because this will probably be used in coffee quaker. But yeah, annoying. And it's not the first time this happened, and I don't know if anyone has any tips on how to deal with that, because I don't have any physical shop near me that sells these types of overdyed threads, because my LNS sells overdyed silks but not overdyed cotton, except her own, I think. Yeah, at least she doesn't sell Gentle Art or Weeks, so yeah, annoying. So I think that's all the stitchy bit I want to talk about. One other thing, I've been to a stitching, not a stitching thing, but I've been to an exhibit and that I wanted to go to for a long time. And when I went, that finally clicked. I had to spam a bit about it on Instagram, so apologies for that. But yeah, if you're in the area of Leeuwarden, the Netherlands, go check out their exhibit on chintz, or in Frisian, sits, I think. Because if you like this type of fabric, you will love it. I've been eyeing to go to this exhibit for quite a while, and I think it also made me look for the fabrics that I got for my birthday, which I made the project bags out of. And I was looking at it again last week or the week before that, and I realized, oh, it only goes until September 11, I think. Not sure. But somewhere in the beginning of September, and I was looking at my weekends and realizing that I wouldn't be able to go there unless I went last weekend. So I did. I went, and I don't regret it at all because it was fabulous. It's without going into too much detail, because of course I forgot half of the facts, but yeah. So chintz is a type of cotton which is dyed in a special way with Indian techniques, which was brought over to Europe by mainly, I think, the East India Company, the Dutch East India Company, who had a high influence in Indonesia, but also in places like India. They brought the cotton with them back to Europe as a trade wear, and it was a big hit in Europe. Why? Because they had not seen or felt cotton fabrics before that. So compared to linen fabrics or wool, they were very soft and pliable and sturdy. And also they had never seen that vibrant colors and vibrant white, because they did not have the technique to dye that way on fabric without it going dull after a little bit. And the amazing thing about the dyeing technique of the chintz is that it stays really vibrant for, well, basically forever, because the pieces of clothing that were shown in the exhibit all are from the early 1700s to the early 1800s, so they are at least 200, 300 years old, and they all look as vibrant as this. So I thought I would show you some, because after going there it all sort of clicked for me why I liked that full coverage piece that I got recently, the Indian Legend one. Why that really hit home with me, why I like the chintz that I got for the project bags, and why I like the crewel work. And it's all to do with this fabric. The basis of it is this fabric style. That's what I really love. I bought some cards just as a... This is a doll, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how cute. Look at how gorgeous. This is like a doll from 1742. Yeah, it looks like that. Looks vibrant still. Anyway, because I'm so in love with this, I thought I would share with you what my new garment will be for my summer collection. So here's the thing. Yeah, this is a typical traditional style of clothing for northern Netherlands, but this bright and vibrant is typical only for one village called Hinderlopen, where they had a lot of sailors come in with the East India Company merchandising, and they fell in love with this, and they also adapted this to their interior design. And they have, if you're ever in the Netherlands, you have to go there. It's on my list to go there too, to that village, because their interiors are all decorated like chintz. So any wood surface is painted up with bright colors and floral designs and birds, and it's amazing. And so they live in an interior like this, and they dress like this too. So if you can't stand a lot of color, I suggest don't go there. But yeah, oh my gosh, I want this coat. I love it. But yeah, so this is typical of only of that village, and they even developed a style where the type of colors you wore said something about if you were, and the type of hat said something about if you were a single lady or not. If you were grieving, so if you were in mourning, you would wear blue and white only. If you were getting married, you would wear red and white only, which they call blood and milk, which I find interesting for brides. But yeah, and if for special occasions and celebrations, it would be like this and multicolored and very very bright. So yeah, I love that. And they have this in the museum at any time. So if you go there outside of the exhibitions for chintz, you will always see this one. They have it in their Frisian room, I think it's called. Yeah, love that. Then they don't only use it for fabrics for clothing, but they also make incredibly beautiful tall wall hangings like this. And this is, I love this. So these are either wall hangings or like tablecloths or throws for on your bed. This one is especially for Arlene. Yeah, and they make quilts out of it. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it. And they make not only adult clothes but children's clothes, so little baby clothes too. So imagine that. Imagine living in that time, in that area. I would so love that. The fashion part of it, not not the dying young part and having to marry and have children part. And not be allowed any schooling as women, but the clothing part and the chintz part, I would definitely move to Hindelopen for that bit. So yeah, now I can stop gushing about that. But yeah, if you have a chance, I will try and link the museum below. It has a little bit of English information, but it was very limited, I found. But yeah, it will at least tell you something about the exhibits. So now we come to the talking about Flosstube and 1 year of Flosstube bit. I recently saw a video by Mondot, Diane, and by Tracy P, and they both were talking about wouldn't it be fun to go back and look at your first Flosstube video and comment on that. And I thought, well, that would be a good thing to do for my 1 year anniversary. So I did that. I did not film it because I don't know how to do that, and it was a bit of a cringe fest anyway. I find it hard to watch my videos, and my first video is not my best. But yeah, I did that, so I want to talk about that for a bit, and then I want to talk about what Talia at Covered in Cat Hair talked about recently as a sort of stitching. What did she call it? Stitching confessions, I think. About I've been thinking about that, and then I just want to talk in general about my experience as a Flosstuber the past year, and that will be it. But if you're not interested, I guess you can go. But yeah, anyway, so I watched my first video on Flosstube that I published on August 6th last year. I had discovered Flosstube about a year before that, but I wasn't really subscribed to any Flosstuber then. I think I started really binge watching a few Flosstubers in the winter of 2015, when I was learning more and more about what Flosstube actually is and getting really excited about it. And one of the first I viewed was where a few people, I think the reason why I found Flosstube was that I was looking for a square frame, not a hoop, because I was stitching in a hoop and I found it annoying, and I was wanting to start my my Vermeer, my Lady with Pearl, and I found that I didn't want to use a hoop for that. I was worried it might damage the stitching or flatten it, so I had found Q-snaps, but I wasn't sure because they also weren't exactly, they were going to cover some stitched parts. I didn't like it, so I really wanted a scroll frame, and I didn't like the traditional ones, so I was looking for other ones that would be no-based. And that's when I stumbled upon Flosstube, and I think I first stumbled upon Caron Watercolours, but as I said, my memory is not very good at this sort of thing. So I think I saw Carolyn's video on the Millennium frame, which brought me to their site, and I think I ordered a Millennium frame then as well. Gosh, I'm getting confused, but I think I ordered a Millennium frame, yeah, in the summer when I didn't really watch Flosstube, but I was looking for a scroll frame. Yeah, and then I also found Orietta and D-Stitcher because they made videos on the Quantum frame, which is similar, but a different company. And then I decided to go with the Millennium then, and that was sort of okay. I talked about this in my video on Millennium and Quantum frames, one of my first videos, what my experience was with those. But yeah, so then I had those frames and I thought, oh, okay, Flosstube is apparently just, you know. But then, because I've been looking at those videos, different videos came up in my recommended videos, because at that time I was only watching YouTube for gaming videos. Because at that time I was still heavily playing 2 games. No, 1. I think I was only playing Star Trek Online then, and I'm not a Trekkie, but yeah, maybe I'll explain that someday. But yeah, I watched some people who did Star Trek Online videos, walkthroughs, things like that. One guy in my fleet makes videos, so I watched those, and so I didn't really think of YouTube as a tutorial resource. But with those videos, I sort of went, oh, okay, so that's another way to use YouTube. I never considered that. And they started popping up in my recommended to watch videos, and I thought, well, I might as well look a few more of Carolyn's videos, watch a few more of her videos. And then others started popping up, and I think a few of the first ones were Trisha, the left-handed stitcher, and she inspired me to think about sewing my own gram guards and scroll word covers and things like that, which was awesome. But she wasn't really stitching things that were my taste. But I like to watch her because, you know, I learn a lot from her. And I also found that even if something isn't your taste, you can still appreciate the work they are putting in, and learn from the experience they are sharing on how it was stitching that piece, or what they've learned themselves, things like that. So yeah, I think I subscribed to her and Carolyn in that time, and then it just sort of snowballed. I discovered, I think one of the first I discovered also was Trisha 3L Threads, and I just loved her personality. And then I think I discovered Letitia, yes, the crafty curator, and I love her personality and her stitch sense, her style. We have similar tastes in some regards. So yeah, I started watching her, and then she sadly took a break, but she's back, yeah. And then it sort of snowballed, and it grew and snowballed and snowballed and snowballed, and we are here now. And I watch a lot of people, I subscribe to a lot of people. I will always subscribe. I will not necessarily watch every single video you bring out, but I will definitely try my best. And I love it. I love that I can watch so many different people doing so many different things and presenting them in so many different ways. And if I can find the time, I will definitely watch. So yeah, long story short, I decided at first I was inspired to start using Instagram, which I never thought about using, but I started that, and that was so exciting and so fun, and I love the interactive bit of that I really, really, really wanted to start making videos and making Flosstube. So I did that in August when I had a lot of time on my hands. So yeah, it's been a year, and I watched back my first video, and there was a few things I noted about that I will want to share with you. And now every time someone says I'm going back to watch every video you ever made, I cringe, because I know how bad that first video was. Because I think what I mentioned at the start of the video, what I really want to achieve with the way my style of videos, is nothing at all at what I did the first few videos. I can tell I was really nervous for that first one. I also was influenced by watching a lot of gaming videos. I thought I needed a tag. So I started my first few videos, I start with Hello Stitches of the World. Which, if you watch Slipgator, you know that is sort of a steal from his tag. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't see the need for a tag line. But yeah. And I also noticed that I never smile at all in my first video, which I do now. I think I smile and laugh a lot because, yeah, I enjoy this community, and it comes out in the way I make my videos nowadays. So yeah. So that was just a bit about how I saw myself in that video. Then Diane asked to look at 3 things that have changed in your stitching since you first started making Flosstube. And 3 things is too little. There have been so many things, because as I've mentioned before, I've not been stitching that long. I still feel that I'm catching up, that there's so many new things out there that I haven't even discovered yet, and I want to try. And you guys really inspire me to, because you show me those things that I've never seen and I want to have another look at. Or you encourage me to try different things. So yeah. If I go back to, not my first, but probably my second or third or something like that video, I think I mentioned somewhere that I only stitch on evenweave. Yeah, that was a lie. Well, at least that changed, because actually now I mainly stitch on linen. I mainly stitch on high count linen, so 36 or 40 count. I thought that I only had one preference for needles, which was the bowen needles, but as I talked about, I think last time, for the specific high count PictureThisPlus, I actually like the John James needles. I didn't used to have a rotation. Now I do, but well, it's on vacation, so I'm not sure if it's ever going to come back in the way I was doing it for the first half of this year anyway. But yeah, I didn't even think about a rotation. I had maybe 2 or 3 whips at the same time, and 5 was the maximum I could manage. I now have, and my laptop is next to me, I now have 12. I never tried hardhanger or pulled thread before this year, and I did, and I love it. It's now part of my regular rotation of types of stitching I want to do. Last year around this time I was not at all into primitive stitch patterns or samplers. Well, you've just seen my finish. I don't think I can say that anymore. The thing that I think changed most for me is I still have a base of patterns that I will always love, like ink circles, geometric designs, the chintz type look. But my eyes have been opened for other things, and that's what I meant when I was talking about I will watch anything, because if you've never seen it, if you've never heard anyone talk about it, how do you know you don't like it, you know? And also, and I think other people have mentioned it, it is really true that your taste changes, and I don't know if it's influence from seeing other things and seeing it so often that you start liking it, or yeah, I don't know what, but yeah, I can definitely say that the things that I've been adding to my wish list lately, if you said a year ago that I would be adding those, I would have said you were crazy, because I would never want to stitch that. So yeah, you never know. But yeah, that's the things that I have noticed about my first Flosstube video. And about my stitching in general, I think. I don't know. If I look back, I've learned so much in a year, and I've been stashing up quite the basics. I didn't have any project bags or covers or thread storage system or beading storage system or a way of keeping track of my patterns, and all that has come since I've been since I've been doing Flosstube. So thank you all for that. Diane also wanted to know if we could mention 3 things that have changed in our lives outside of stitching. And I couldn't think of 3 things, but I could think of 2 that really influenced me. And one is that in the same time that I've been starting Flosstube, I've been starting my own business, which means that I've been working from home quite a lot more than I used to. And that has really taken its toll on my body, because I don't get enough exercise anymore, and I've gained quite a bit of weight. So, so that's definitely something not Flosstube related, but definitely something that changed in my life, which actually Flosstube is helping me to counter, because this morning I'm late doing my Flosstube because this morning I actually got up on my cross trainer again and did a short workout. Thank you. Oh gosh, I'm having a total brain fart with all the names. I Heart Cross Stitch, Andrea, thank you for inspiring me to do that. Now I just have to keep it up. because yeah, I have the cross trainer, and at the end of I did a 15-minute exercise, which is close to 5 kilometers, but yeah, not too heavy. And I did a recovery check on my heart rate, and it was terrible. It was the worst that I've ever had. So yeah, that actually motivates me to start doing that. So I'm going to think about how I can incorporate that into my routine so that I actually do it every day. But yeah, definitely need to work on that. And the other thing that has changed is that I don't think I ever have met any stitchers in real life until I started doing Flosstube. We got a gathering coming up in 2 weeks, and I'm going to meet a whole bunch of them, which is awesome. But yeah, that's a major change, and it's sort of a stitching thing, but I never really talked about my stitching, and now it is something that I bring up now and then. I sometimes bring my stitching to when I go visit my family. They don't really care either way, so but yeah, I never used to bring my stitching anywhere. Now I bring it. Sometimes I even brought it for that meeting I had the other day in the evening, just to have something to do on a train. So yeah, that's all I could think of. So then, thank you, Diane and Tracy, for giving me this idea. I will link their video below where they talk about this. And then we have the Stitchy Confessions by Talia. I will link her video below too. She asked if we could mention 3 things stitching related that were sort of like, we know we should do better, but this is how we do it. So yeah, I'm trying to think what I had thought of, because I used to do a lot of things that were frowned upon, but I don't do them anymore. Like I used to knot my thread, but then I discovered the loop method, and now I'm using the diagonal pin stitch method of starting a thread. So there's no need to tie a knot anymore, but I had no problem with that. But yeah, things like that, that's just somehow, because I found other ways of doing it, I don't do those things anymore, but not because I didn't like them or I didn't think it was appropriate, but that's just how it was. But I do keep all my projects on my frames at all times when I'm using them. So I have my whips that were in my rotation are still all on the frames. They are not tightly wound, but yeah, they're still on the frames, and it may warp the fabric, we'll find out. But so far I've not had a problem with that. I do the same with the Q-snaps. I don't take them off. I loosen the tension, but I don't take them off because it's annoying and I'm lazy. So yeah, that's one thing I can think of as a sort of stitching confession. And then one other thing I still do, and that's why I got the star detailer that I talked about a few videos ago, is yeah, I will use up the thread until it really can't go any further. With hardanger is different, because hardanger you have to find a good spot to end your thread, because if you have to end it in the middle of a dove's eye, that won't work. So yeah, with hardanger I'm not as frugal, but with any other type of stitching I'm pretty frugal with my thread, and if I just need 3 stitches more, I will do my utmost best to get those 3 in with that thread. Yeah, most of the time I do that. Oh yeah, that one. So, and then sometimes if I'm fully finishing and I'm framing and I don't feel like really being too precise, I will just get any type of tape I have laying around and tape the ends of the fabric on the back so that they're out of the way and not just go and try and sew them together or something like that. But I will use any tape, any not acid-free tape, anything like that. I will just put it on there, and it's on the back, so who cares. So yeah, those are my 3 stitching vices, I guess you could say. So let me know what are yours in the comments, because, you know, fess up, or make your own video and share. So that's about all I wanted to do, and I did want to make do the tag by Jessie Marie about how I do my videos, which is called the behind the scenes tag. But yeah, might have to make a separate clip and do that some other time, because I'm already late and I need to get this up. Just so you know, it takes me about an hour to film. It takes me about, usually I think about what I want to talk about it the evening before, so I write that down. It takes me about maybe 15 minutes to set up, gather all my stuff, then an hour to film, then it takes about half an hour to upload it to my laptop, then it takes about half an hour to put it into Movie Maker, and then I have to edit it, and then it has to render, which takes about an hour usually, and then I have to upload it. So usually all that kind of stuff will keep me busy from the morning till the evening. But if I have to upload things and render things, then I do other things in the meantime, but still it just takes me the whole day to get a video up. And since it's already 2 o'clock, I'm not sure if I can make it and have it ready for you. So it might be Monday morning that it's published. Anyway, I just wanted to say a few things more and not do the tag. So let's see if I've already mentioned it. Yeah, this is basically what I've been talking about already. The last thing I did want to mention is that, and I sort of touched upon this already, but Flosstube is nothing without the community of viewers. You can say Flosstube is only the makers, but I have to strongly disagree with that, because as I said, we are nowhere without people watching our videos. And if there would be only one person who watched my videos, I would be making videos, because that's what I want. I want that one person to watch and let me know if they recognize anything, or they share an experience, or they have advice on how to handle something, or just want to point me to a new shop I might be interested in, or anything like that. I love that part of, and that's why I think it's so important, especially also, you know, looking back at the passing of Beverly, who was the biggest Flosstube cheerleader we had, and she never made a video as far as I'm aware. But she is the spirit of Flosstube for me. She is what it's all about, you know, the sharing and the community, and now I'm gonna cry. So let's not do that. And I know it's the community is growing rapidly. There are new Flosstubers weekly, and it's I've heard people say it's hard to keep up, especially because videos are getting longer as well. And I just hope that it doesn't stop anybody from joining in making videos, because I welcome anybody who makes them. It's just I think it's something that we as a community have to find a way to get our heads around and figure out a way that works for us. Because as many people have said, you can't watch everybody. I will subscribe to everybody. If I can find you, I will subscribe to you, because I can only encourage you. And I will definitely try my utmost to watch at least one or more videos. But you know, we are all different people, and we all have different tastes, and sometimes, you know, I can totally understand if you don't like my videos. Fine. I'm not for you, but you know, there's thousands of us out there that maybe are for you. So please don't, yeah. It's really difficult to say in a different language. Please don't make it stop you from making videos. That's what I'm trying to say. And also, this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and I really want to ask your opinion, especially for the non-Dutch speaking community. I've had some conversations with several Dutch viewers or on Instagram about how difficult it is for some of us to do videos in another language than our own language. And I always try to encourage people to do it anyway. And I will try and link as many as I can find down below, because I know people like Imke Stevens in Belgium. She does videos in the Dutch language. And I'm sure that a lot of you would still be interested in what she's working on and can understand what she's trying to say without having the details that she talks about in Dutch. And I know this because I did I did my announcement about the stitching meetup in a Dutch version and an English version. And I've had people who don't speak Dutch comment on the Dutch language video that they enjoyed it. So, you know, that's another thing that I really want to say is, please don't let language be a barrier for you making Flosstube videos. And that's not just Dutch language, that's any language. I watch some videos from makers that are Russian. I have no idea what details they are talking about, but I do recognize the stitching that they're talking about, and I do enjoy watching that. And if you know, there are all kinds of formats in which you can do Flosstube videos. It's not just, you know, sitting down in front of a camera like I'm doing and showing you whips and then talking about other stuff and your haul. And there's not a set program for Flosstube videos. There's many people who just make slideshows, like Bev at Palette PC, which is one of my biggest enablers on Flosstube. And she just, I don't think she's ever been in front of the camera. She just shows slideshows with a little text about what they are and what she's working on. That anyone can do that. That doesn't require any language whatsoever. So yeah, my second thing would be, don't let that be a barrier. For if you really want to join, please do. Anyway, so I need to get off my soapbox now. But yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on that last bit about if language should be or could be a barrier and how to resolve that. And on that note, I think I am going to sign off and try and get this up for you. And thank you all for those who were here on August 6th already last year. Thank you all who joined me over the last year and subscribed and commented and joined in the fun. And in 2 weeks I will be at the stitching meetup in my LNS, so I'm not sure when I will get around to making or uploading a video. I will try and make a video on that meeting on the day itself, but I'm not sure if I can get it up for you on that weekend, so I might be a bit late with my next video. And I just want to say I'm so looking forward to this. I've heard from 3 Dutch people, 2 foreign people. I'm not going to name any names because some of them have already mentioned it, but some of them have not. And some of them are Flosstubers and some of them are Instagrammers. And some of them are neither, I think. I'm not sure, but it's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited and I'm really looking forward to meeting every one of you. And I will see you there, and I will see the rest of you hopefully in 2 weeks, and if not, at the latest in 3 weeks. So, bye guys. Thanks for watching.